Hi guys, according to timeanddate.com, it is 4:16 a.m. and today is the 20th of August 2021. It's Friday. You're listening to Dearest Diamond, a Diamond's memoir. My name is Diamond and you're welcome. You're welcome to week 21 of the episode of You're welcome to week 21 of the podcast. It's nice to be here and it's nice to have you listening again. Yes, today we have wine and not coffee. Wine sponsored by my dear friend Kwikwi. Thank you. Okay, so what have I been up to this past week? I'm on my second book. Woo! Okay, no, not on my second book this past week, but some days back, about 7-8 days now, I decided to try something, read 50 pages a day, and that helped me finish one book in a week, and I was actually surprised. I've had this I am consistent thing pasted on my wall for some time now, and I don't know, I haven't, but yeah, it's just nice to be able to do something and keep up with it. Sometimes life gets all, messy and stuff, and you feel like, oh, I can't keep up. But when you eventually do, or when you eventually find yourself keeping up, it's usually very interesting and encouraging, should I say. So yeah, I did that, and I've learned quite a lot in the past week. I'll be sharing some of what I've learned today. In one of the books, last week I talked about fear and being afraid and what would you do if you were not afraid. The book I was dealing with in that week had me answering some very hard questions, and I had to think for the first time, like, what were the 3 things I was most afraid of, and talking about fear, I was having to, there were questions like, what are the 3 biggest fears in my life right now? In what areas of my life and work do I most experience the fear of failure and loss? And what steps would I take to confront and eliminate them? And then he had questions like, in what areas of my life do I most experience fear of criticism, rejection, embarrassment? And how can I overcome those fears? Anyway, the bottom line is that when I was trying to think about what the 3 biggest fears I had, you wouldn't I think I was surprised that my answer, I don't know, but yeah, my answer surprised me. So first on my list, I had my career. Basically, my 3 biggest fears that I realized are fear of not being everything that I am supposed to be as regards my career. I had this fear of not being good at anything noteworthy, right? I'm afraid of not having a talent or being very good at the talent that I have. And then finally, I realized that the 3rd thing I'm most afraid of is being a mother and a wife. So here I wrote fear of not being a good mother and a wife. Fear of wanting to pursue my dreams so much that I might not be able to balance it all out. Fear of losing myself in the process of being a mother and a wife. I don't like that. That's like my 3rd biggest fear. But the good thing that helped me with is, what I mean by the good thing, like listing it out, is realizing that it's really not that deep. It's really nothing to be afraid of. It's inconsequential. I think that's my favorite word in the past 2 weeks. Fear is inconsequential, really. So why not get rid of it? Looking at it and I'm like, okay, what am I scared of in my career? Not moving forward. That's not possible. I'll keep working on myself every day and doing and learning new things and, just making myself the best. There's that. My finances, there's no way I'm not going to make money. And then what do I need to do to make money? I need to put things in order, look at the steps and think good thoughts. And then being a good wife and mother, I have never failed at anything in my life. I wouldn't start there. I wouldn't fail at doing that, So just answering those questions and facing those things square on this past week, it placed me somewhere really good in my head. And I think everyone should try and answer these questions. What do you fear the most? Think about it. What's the worst that could happen? And when you really think about it, you will find that just keep doing what you need to do, and it's bullshit. Fear is inconsequential, basically. Okay, so let me quickly move on to my topic for week 21, my title. Okay, so my title for week 21, Dearest Diamond, guard your gates. Your thoughts are things. And I will quickly run through it just so you see where my head is at this week. There's been a lot of bad news around since like forever. Okay, let me just talk in recent times. There's been Corona, there's been NSARS, there's been all the basic bad, terrible things that happen in Nigeria every day: the kidnapping, the killings, bad governance, world issues, climate change, people dealing with anxiety, and there's just so much. Afghanistan, the Taliban taking over Afghanistan, and all that. Basically, every day we wake up to one bad news or the other. The world is just amazing, and I wonder why it's always like that. So I've just been thinking, and apparently, yes, the world has always been like that. The reason why we are more aware of how terrible things are in different parts of the world is because we now have the internet. There's now the media where you can watch that, in this country there's fire, and in that place there's flood. The world has always had fire and flood and wars and rumors of wars in wherever and everywhere. Do you understand? Let me keep that. Let's start from there. My book for the week this week has been let me not say this week because I think that confuses it, but for some 3 days now, the book I've been reading is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And basically he is talking, or he is interviewing, or he's writing out the things that he learned from interacting with men who made history, men who did things that were important, who changed the world, names that you can never forget, right? Like Henry Ford, like this Steele guy. Sorry, I'm not good with names. So we have a couple of these guys that you can never forget, right? That in history they will always be mentioned. And basically he was trying to say, let your head be in a good place. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking about? While I was reading that, I got thinking, and the things that we think, how do we get there? Your thoughts are things, right? So how do you put your thoughts in a good place? Recently, I went off social media for a bit and, just went off, just tried to guard my head space. I was telling someone recently, I was having a conversation with, I can't remember who now, and every time the person brings up, have you heard about this news? I'm like, oh no, really, I didn't hear about it. And have you heard about news? I'm like, okay, no. So I began to feel like I was being irresponsible because I was not keeping up with world news, something like that. But look, the truth is, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, those are gates to your heart. Even the good book says that you should guard your heart with all diligence because out of it are the issues of life. Your head space is the most important thing, to be very honest. Whatever you need to do to not cloud that place with doubts and fears and worst nightmares, do it. Watch the things you watch. Be mindful of the things you're listening to. Be mindful of what you're saying. Part of why I mentioned these men in the beginning, them Edison and Ford and those men who have made history, is that while they were making history, the world was still going to shit. The world has always had its issues. Corona is not the worst thing that has ever happened to this world. There was the Spanish flu. The Taliban taking over Afghanistan is not the worst thing that has happened ever. There have been wars worse. World War II and all those were crazy wars. And people were doing great things. Things were being accomplished. In the Great Depression, there was a period they called the Great Depression. People still succeeded. And personally, from what I've come to see, I think it all starts with where your head is. Where is your head? Really? The tendency to have so much fears of tomorrow, for example, Nigeria is not even helping us if you want to stress and worry about what's happening in the world. Nigeria is not even the best place to be right now, do you get, as regards that. But in this Nigeria, 20, 30, 40 years, there are few people who will succeed, who would have made history, no matter what. And really, where does it start from? Their head. Do they think they can? Are they seeing themselves there? Right? Because, yes, 1,000 people are dying on your left, 10,000 on your right. It's understandable to have sympathy towards what's happening because we're human beings, so obviously. But guard your headspace. If you need to stop hearing about these bad news, to put your mind in a place where you are certain of your success, you are certain of the outcome of your life, you're certain of how things are going to go, regardless. Even if wars breaks out today in any part of the world, like, that's a bit extreme. But for real, that's just it. Guard your gates. Guard what you're watching. Guard what you're listening to. Guard what is going into your mind. Where's your head, really? You don't want to be mediocre, do you? You want to, if you're thinking of, you want to be financially free. You want to ride the best cars and live in the best houses. Man, put your thoughts in those places. Believe it. You will get there. No jokes. You will. When I talk about how I have confidence that Nigeria is not going to go to shit eventually, I know, like, I hear a couple of, oh, look, this country, we're done, we're finished, da da da. I get it. Yes, there's news that makes it feel that way. But when, for example, look at Mandela, he's one of the people who did great things in his time. When he started the, don't judge people by the color of their skin, da 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 movement, people thought he was mad. But today, his thoughts are or have become one of the greatest things in the black movement and all that. Do you understand? It started from his head. Where's your head at, man? Guard your gates. Guard your gates. Look, don't becloud your mind with all the negative things and the bad things that are happening. They are bound. If you want to look for bad thing that's happening, you will be tired. I don't even think there's anywhere in the world that's extreme good is really going on. Yes, there's the whole being developed. Of course, that gives you an advantage. Being developed and having good leaders, yeah. But even in all those places, they are still going through a lot of maybe what's this thing called, natural disasters and all that. Man, bad things are bound. Put your head in a good place, man. Dearest Diamond, guard your gates, guard your thoughts. Guard your eyes, guard your ears, guard your mouth. Speak great things. Above all, really, guard your thoughts. Your thoughts materialize. They are things indeed. Do you understand? Don't ever forget, people were doing great things 20, 30, 100 years ago. People will still do great things. You can be one of those people. Make up your mind. Decide. You'll be part of the top 20% in whatever area in your life. Do you understand? And you can. It's not that deep, really. Just stay focused on God, man. Seriously, like in the book, in this Think and Grow Rich, he was talking. There was a part he said, honesty and hard work are not the only things that can get you to great riches. In fact, if you depend on honesty and hard work alone, you will never get to great riches. Your thoughts. How sure are you that you're going to get to great riches is paramount. Where's your head? Guard your gates, man. Your thoughts are things. And this thing that says, out of out of the abundance of the heart, not this thing, I think it's from the Bible. I don't know if, yeah, out of the yes, out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. If your head is in a good place, you speak the right things. There's so many wrong expressions that we make, apparently, so many. Hey, wala di, I don't die. These people, you get, like, even me, I say it sometimes. I find myself saying wala a lot. Oh, sorry, if you're not Nigerian, wala means there's problem, there's trouble. I don't die means I'm finished, or I'm dead, basically. So let's really, even in our jokes and the things that we take as trivial, let's really watch what we're saying. And the best way to be able to say the right things is to think the right things. The best way to think the right things is to hear and see the right things, is to go to the right places where your head oh God, I'm going to quote the Bible a lot this episode. Apparently there's a place that says faith comes by hearing. So go to the places where you hear those things that will give you faith. Faith is not just a Christian thing, it's a life thing. You have to have faith. You have to believe that no matter what is going wrong, wars, rumors or wars, Buhari wants to sell the country and divide it into two. It does not work like that for you. You believe, your head is in the right place. You're certain. Trust me. It comes out, because in this book he was saying how he had interviewed a lot of these men, and there was a formula. It was a thinking formula. Let your head be in the good place. Let your head be in the right place always. Be very mindful of that. So, yes, what are you hearing? What are you speaking? What are you thinking? Guard your gates. Your thoughts are things. The universe will give you as much as you decide to take from it. Yes. Thank you guys for listening. My affirmation for the week is, I am aware of my thoughts. I think great thoughts. I am aware of my words. I speak excellently. My gates are guarded. There is no better time than now. I am aware of my thoughts. I think great thoughts. I am aware of my words. I speak excellently. My gates are guarded. There is no better time than now. I am aware of my thoughts. I think great thoughts. I am aware of my words. I speak excellently. My gates are guarded. There is no better time than now. Yay. And what am I thankful for this week? What better thing to be thankful for? I'm thankful for my eyes. I'm thankful for my ears. I'm thankful for my tongue. I'm thankful for my thoughts. I'm thankful for my muscles. I'm thankful for my hair. I'm thankful for my legs. I'm thankful for my knees. I'm thankful for Diamond and everything that makes me me. Yay! Thank you guys for being here again, for listening to this week's episode. It's always good to be back here. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram at dearest.diamond. Like, share, and I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye.